We are here at General McLean High School as the Hickory Hornets look to take on your General McLean Lancers. Last meeting on January 4th, the General McLean Lancers faced off against the Hickory Hornets in Hickory, and it did not go the Lancers' way. Carly Roche led the Hornets with 19 points. DeJulia White and Crow added a combined 22 points. For the Lancers, Sierra Sonetta led the team with 10 points, who was aided by Hannah Pfeiffer, who added with 9 points. The Hornets were 22 from 28 from the free throw line, which is a 78%, while the Lancers were only 6th rate. The Hornets were able to win this game by a decisive score of 49-31. Can the Lancers change their game differently so they can pull this one out? Stay tuned to find out here on GM Radio.
And we welcome you back to the General McLean Radio with the matchup between the Hickory Hornets and the General McLean Lancers. For the Lancers, they are 13-3, and 3 key players like usual. Sierra Sonetta, 15 points per game. She leads the team in 2s and 3s. And next, Hannah Pfeiffer with 10 points per game, and third, Kendall McKissick with 8 points per game. For the Hickory Hornets, they are 11-4, and 3 of their key players are Hannah Crow, who has 12 points per game, and she leads the team in 2s and 3s. Next is Hannah Atkins, who has 9 points per game, and the third key player is Carly Roche with 8.5 points per game. There is 2 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock until the game, and we will be right back with you for the keys to the game. Stay with us.
Carly Roche. Number 20, Hannah Aikens. Wearing number 21, Hannah Crow. Number 22, Jess White. And number 32, Carly Press. The Hornets are coached by Matt Fagan. And now your Lancers. Number 2, Claire Campbell. Wearing number 11, Kendall McKissick. Number 12, Hannah Pfeiffer. Number 13, Sierra Sonetta. And number 32, Rachel Collins. Lancers are coached by Tori Henson. Officials for tonight's game are Jason Franz, Steve Cadaday, and Tom Pandora.
Okay. Let me reset up the audio.
We are here at General McLean tip-off as Rachel Collis is going to win the tip-off for the Lancers as it goes to Pfeiffer. She gives it off, and now Collis has it in the paint. She dribbles, finds a crease, but can't get it to go as Sonetta is able to pull down the rebound for the Lancers. Collis got it back somehow as she passes off to Campbell. Campbell dribbles, gives it off to McKissick right at that volleyball line. She drives to her right, stops at the three-point line, and starts driving again. She drives the baseline, gives the ball right to number 11, Roche, who steps on the baseline, and the Lancers going to get it right back.
Yeah, good steal there by number 11 right there, like I was saying. She just stepped out of bounds, which was really unfortunate.
Yeah, Carly Roche was able to get the turnover, but unfortunately tugged a little too hard and stepped out of bounds, as Pfeiffer's going to get it off the inbound. She dribbles to the top of the key. She gets it off to Campbell, who sets up the play. Campbell dribbles to her right and passes it back to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer goes to her left, scans and finds McKissick, who finds Sonetta in the corner. Sonetta airballs that one as it's going to go up to Roche. Roche trips, and the ball kicks off her foot for another turnover. Pfeiffer now dribbles back up the court. She pump fakes, finds McKissick at the top of the key. And McKissick hits the three, just like last game. She's going to start this game out with a bang.
Great redemption there by Kendall McKissick, because obviously she had that ball that was stolen. She got right back in it with the three.
Yeah, the one thing this team doesn't want to do is give the Lancers wide open threes, because McKissick, Pfeiffer, and Sonetta are really knocked down. Regardless, Hickory can't get that one to go in, as that was number 20, Hannah Aikens. But Pfeiffer was able to pull down the rebound, and she has it now. Sonetta dribbles in the backcourt. She dribbles up and gets the ball almost stolen from her again. But it's going to stay with the Lancers ball as this Hornets defense has really good pursuit.
It looks like I'm going to guess that the Hornets coach were really focusing on Sierra Sinetta there for pretty much the whole entire game. That could be their game plan to shut Sinetta down because she was triple covered when she was driving in for that layup.
It might be, and Pfeiffer just found a wide open shot but couldn't convert as the Lancers are going to have to hit those ones in order to get it. As Sinetta nearly turned the ball over again.
Yeah, they are looking, I think, to cover her much tighter than a lot of the other people because she obviously is the key player for this game, the top player on the Lady Lancers offense and defense. So they're looking right now to cover her and shut her down.
This Hornets team does exactly what Hornets do, which is swarm, and they're swarming the ball here on defense. As Sinetta has it at the top of the key once again. She passes off to McKissick, who found Campbell on the right corner. She pump fakes as she stands there, but she dribbles to her left and gets out of the corner. She passes it to McKissick on the right wing. As it bounces off of Campbell's hands, it goes back to Sinetta. Sinetta fakes one way, but gives it back to McKissick to her right. Campbell has it in the right corner. She dribbles around as they try to double team her, but can't. As Sinetta gets it, as Pfeiffer has it on the left wing for the wide open three, and can't get the shooter's roll. As it's going to be a jump ball, as Collis and Akins fought for the ball, but it's going to stay with Hickory. Breast inbounds the ball to White. White makes her way up the court as this is going to be Hickory's first offensive possession 2.5 minutes into this game. The ball goes back to Breast at the top of the key. White has it now on that right wing. She holds it and gives it off to Akins. Sorry. Yes, that is Akins. Akins drives with her left, pauses, and gives it off to Crow. But McKissick was right there for the steal. She takes it up. She finds Pfeiffer on the right wing, who gives it back to Campbell, who gives it back to McKissick now at the top of the key. She sets up the play as it goes back to Pfeiffer. They found Collis in the paint, but she dished it off as Campbell faked the drive and passes it out to McKissick. The ball goes back to Pfeiffer on that right wing as they double team her. But Collis was able to get the ball and can't convert on the layup as Akins had great defense once again.
It's great defense by the Hornets, but I think Collis obviously did have a chance to get that layup, but she just could not execute there.
White has the ball. She drove through the pen as she drove. And this coach for Hickory is really loud.
I have a headset on right now, and you can hear him through that really very easily.
Akins gives it to Roche, and Roche is fouled as she tries to get the layup to go in, but she could not get it to go in. And she was a huge part as she scored 19 points the last game.
Yeah, that's going to be big for Hickory right now. And we are saying stuff about, obviously, Hickory's coach, but it's nice to see that someone's extremely passionate about coaching, especially in high school.
Roche gets set to take her first one, and let me mention that they shot 28 free throws last game. If you're going to shoot 28 free throws, that team is most likely going to win, as they shot at a 78% clip. Roche can't get her second one to go as Pfeiffer just pulled down the rebound and passes it off to Sinetta. Sinetta has it at the three-point line and finds Collis under the basket, and she gets the layup to go in.
Great pass by Sinetta right there, right to Seidel, and that is a great play right there. And with that, I think that Jenna McLean has just called a timeout, and we will be right back with you. Stay with us.
We're back here at General McLean High School as it's the Lancers 5, the Hornets 1, halfway through the game. Not halfway through the game, sorry, halfway through the first quarter.
If that was halfway through the game, that'd be a pretty, to say the least, boring game, but I'm glad it's only halfway through the first quarter.
Breast has it at the left wing, and she gives it off to Crow, who was on the right. The ball goes back to Roche as she tries to drive with the right, but great defense by Collis as she was able to pull down the rebound. McKissick has it as she got the pass. Pfeiffer has it on the right wing. She almost got it to go in as it looked like she was fouled. And Breast was able to get the rebound, but it's going to be a jump ball as Seidel was right in there.
Jenna McLean's coach looked like I think Hannah Pfeiffer might have been fouled, and Jenna McLean's coach is really passionate about that, making sure that the official hears that and the fans aren't happy either.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Hanson, and she wasn't too pleased with that no call. As Collis gets it right off the inbound, but can't do anything with it in the paint. As Akins is going to grab the rebound, but it's going to be yet another jump ball as Roche and Collis go at it. Brest is going to inbound the ball for the Hornets, as we've seen a lot of great defense up to this point in this game. White dribbles up as she's going to set up the play. Seidel's on her. She drives to her left and passes it off to Crow, who drives baseline. Crow couldn't get the floater to go in, but Roche pulls down the rebound. It goes back to Akins at the top of the key. She drives to her right. She gave it back to Brest, who gave it to White on the right wing, who gave it to Akins in the paint, and Akins was able to get the two to go in.
Good little shove by Akins there, shoving at least a little bit of a shoulder check to one of the GM defenders right there. And it was a great play by her to get that layup in.
Yeah, with some body banging there, and Akins won that one. As Sonetta found Pfeiffer wide open under the basket, but it was just a little too hard, and Pfeiffer couldn't handle it. As McKissick gets a wide open shot from the three-point line, couldn't get it to go, as Sonetta almost got the rebound. As Brest gets the rebound, passes it to Roche, who was already halfway up the court. Roche drove, as I'm surprised there wasn't any sort of call there, as it's going to be yet another jump ball.
I'm not sure if these are jump balls, but by the officials, what they're doing is they're putting both thumbs up, which is, I would think it usually suggests a jump ball, and they're not doing that. They're just kind of doing the regular possessions.
They are doing the jump balls. As in the NBA, you would do an actual jump ball, but there's the possession arrow in high school and college, which eliminates the actual jump ball. Regardless, McKissick has it, who passes it to Seidel, and Seidel couldn't finish in the paint, as they found Pfeiffer wide open. Sonetta's at the top of the key, takes the three, and gets it to go.
Beautiful passing there by Jenna McLean, and especially really in any basketball game or anything like that, passing is key because it confuses the defense either a little bit, and it was a great three by Sierra Sonetta right there to just nail that.
I'm seeing a lot of the Hornets are playing well on defense, but they leave people wide open, which from the three-point line, and eventually the Lancers are going to hit that. As White almost turned the ball over there, but it's going to stay with the Hornets.
Yeah, three-point shooting for Jenna McLean is, I feel like it's one of their biggest parts of their game. And leaving especially Sierra Sonetta and Kendall McKissick wide open for threes is going to be very catastrophic for the Hornets team in general.
Roche drove there and couldn't get the right-handed layup to go in, as she wasn't too happy that she got called for a foul. She was also trying to aggravate a jump ball. Regardless, Sonetta's going to carry the ball up. I'm not going to lie, she does look tired. This Hornets team really puts the Lancers to the test, and it really kind of shows how good this Lancers team really is. As McKissick gets the ball on the right wing, she passes it to Pfeiffer in the corner. Pfeiffer finds Collis, but it was an errant pass as White dribbles up. She dribbles past the net and can't get the left-handed layup to go in, as Crow was able to get the nice rebound and put that up for two. Sonetta drives up with the ball now. She sets up the play. She's at the top of the key and finds Seidel in the left corner. Seidel hits the three from the left corner, and she's done that all year for this varsity girls team.
That looks to be a two there. I thought it was a three because Kaylee Seidel had 1 foot. She had 1 foot in the air, but I thought she had 1 foot behind the three-point line, but I guess she didn't.
Roche has it, as Akins was trying to fight there, but it was a little aggressive by Pfeiffer, and she's going to pick up her first foul of the game.
This seems to be, at least in the first quarter, a pretty tense and / aggressive game, which is nice to see. But hopefully nothing happens where anybody gets hurt or anything. But tensions seem to be high right now.
Both these teams are playing physical, as Crow's going to start out with the ball in the left corner. She gives it off to Akins in the paint, but she finds Brest at the top of the key. Brest looks for someone to pass to as she rolls to her right. She found Akins on the right wing as Akins drives in. Akins was able to get that ugly shot in, as I think she was fouled, as this Hickory team looks like they're trying to get a lot of and-ones tonight.
That was a really interesting shot. It looks like Akins was running in midair, and then she just managed to get the one right-handed layup in, which is really an incredible shot.
Collis is at the top, as it's going to be a travel, as she didn't know exactly what to do with that ball, and that's the first really mental mistake we've seen.
Yeah, it's tough. When you're expecting to pass it and nobody's open, you really, because you're walking forward, striding into a pass, and it's tough to stop that.
Crow's going to dribble up with the ball, so there's 5 seconds left as she's going to try to get one last shot off. She finds Akins right at the free throw line, and Akins can't get it to go as time expires in the first quarter And with that first quarter over, the Lancers are beating the Hickory Hornets by a score of 10-7. And with this break, we will also take a break here on GM Radio. We're back here at General McLean High School as the Lancers are beating the Hickory Hornets 10-7. As Hickory starts out with the ball, Crow's on the left wing. She drives to her left, step backs and takes the three, and can't get it to go as it hits rim as Seidel pulls down the rebound and is on the fast break. She stops on a dime at the top of the key, passes it to Collis, who found Pfeiffer, who found McKissick in the corner. The ball was stolen by White as she goes on the fast break for the Hornets. She stops and slows down the pace as she finds Akins wide open at the right wing. Akins took a step and took the two there, as I'm surprised she didn't just take the three as she was so close to the line.
Yeah, it seems like the General McLean defense just kind of disregarded her, and I'm not 100% sure why she took a step forward, because she had a wide open three, and that was probably one of the deepest twos you could have taken, whatever you want to say.
Collis almost saved that ball, but couldn't, as White gets the rebound and dribbles up court. She sets up the play at the top of the key. She finds Crow on the left wing, who found Akins at the top of the key. Roche has it in the paint, and Roche is able to get the layup to go in. Sonetta drives up, and as she looks to her coach for the play, she passes off to Seidel on that left wing, who finds Pfeiffer at the volleyball line and passes it to McKissick on the right wing. Pfeiffer has it now back at the top of the key as the Hickory coach calls out where he wants people to be at. As Pfeiffer has it on the right wing, she holds it, passes it to Seidel, who found Collis. Collis passes it back to Seidel, and we're going to see a timeout as Mrs. Hanson, the coach for the Lancers, is not happy right now. But with that timeout, we are going to take a timeout here on GM Radio. Stay with us. We're back as Sinet is going to start with the ball for the Lancers. As they set up the play after that Lancers timeout, as the Lancers coach was not happy. Pfeiffer has it as she dribbles right. She gives it off to McKissick at the top of the key, who found Pfeiffer. And we're seeing a lot more ball movement now after this timeout. McKissick finds Pfeiffer at the top of the key. Pfeiffer dribbles and goes to her right. The pass was deflected by Crow, and Crow dribbles she pulls up for two and can't get it to go, as White couldn't pull down the rebound, and it goes out of bounds, and the Lancers are going to retain possession.
For General McLean, there's a lot of ball movement, but the Hornets are playing very great defense, which is leading to, no matter how much ball movement the Lancers have, it's going to lead to turnovers eventually because nobody's open, everybody's guarded very tight.
And I just want to make a side note. We talked about this at break, but you can see why Hickory gets so many fouls their way, just because of they every time they shoot a ball, it seems as if they're getting bumped into somehow. As McKissick took that three and couldn't get to go in, White passes it up to Roche on the fast break. Roche drives in as it's a block, and it's going to be an and one for Roche.
This Hickory Hornets team is looking very great right now. They're playing tight defense. Their offense is very smooth most of the time. They're getting great, crisp passes, and they're drawing fouls like Isaac is saying.
Lamoureux tried to get the charge call there and just couldn't, as it's going to be a block foul, and really went against hers. Now Roche has the opportunity for a three-point play. Roche is able to make it a three-point play as Sinet is going to drive up as the Lancers are now losing by 4 with 5:25 left in the first half. Sinet finds McKissick, who found Seidel in the paint, who's guarded by Akins, as she tries a hook shot but can't get it to go, as number 10, DeJulia, grabs the rebound. White dribbles up with the ball. She's going to set up the play. White goes to her right, goes back to her left, has a nice crossover move, and feeds it to Akins. Akins is another body bump as she's able to get the layup to go, and that brace isn't stopping her no matter what.
This General McLean coach is visibly angry, and I know from playing sports, you get very, very nervous and very tense if your coach is angry. You feel the pressure just keep building and building. The more angry your coach gets, the worse it is.
It really is, and now there's 2 players on this Hickory team who have leg braces, and that's not stopping either of the 2 from playing, which is really impressive. White dribbles to her left and finds Roche on the left wing. She pump fakes. And she's able to fake out Collis and drives left and couldn't get the shooter's roll there on the layup. And we're going to see. It's going to stay with the Hornets as it hit off either Sonetta or Collis. DeJulia is going to inbound this ball. She found Akins in the paint, but Sonetta was able to poke the ball out as it looked like Pfeiffer might have got away with a shove there to get the rebound. She passes it off to Sonetta, who shoots the ball at the free throw line and is a little short as Roche pulls the rebound down. Roche goes up with 4 minutes remaining in this first half. White goes to her right and is able to, and she had a really nice pass. We're gonna have a trouble there. That pass really, it was a great pass by White, but then she just couldn't retain the pass back.
Yeah, I'm observing the sideline right now. Obviously, both coaches are extremely into it, and I don't normally see this from the General McLean Lady Lancers coach. It's nice to, I mean, she might be either angry or just being intense for this game, but it's nice to see.
McKissick has the ball in the left corner as she finds Steiner, and Steiner can't get the layup to go, but she takes another one and gets it to go in as they reduce it to a 4-point game.
That could be the little bit of momentum that gets the Lady Lancers going, which we'll see what happens. But right now, the Hornets do obviously have the lead, and we will see if they can keep that lead right now, which might not be happening.
Brest tried to feed the ball to White, but that didn't work out as Sonetta has it at the top of the key. She finds Seidel on the left wing, and she's going to hit the top of the backboard, but Sonetta is able to pull the rebound down, and we're going to see here. It's going to be a push on Akins as Sonetta looks like she has a real drive to win this game. I want to talk about that as Sonetta she's really been all over the place, and we don't usually see that from her, but she looks really determined to pull this one out for her team.
Yeah, when you're extremely determined and just even a little bit agitated, you will do more than you normally do, especially on a basketball court. You don't care whatsoever.
And we just saw a hard pick by Crow on Pfeiffer as Pfeiffer was trying to get them to make a turnover, but Sonetta is able to get the turnover and passes it to Seidel. And I'm surprised as it looked like number 20 Akins stepped out of bounds there with the ball, but there's no call as White carries the ball up.
Yeah, these fans are not having it for the General McLean Lancers right now, and I am not having it either. That definitely looked like there was an out-of-bounds call that should have been called, but it wasn't, which can't do anything about it now.
It looked really simple, too, but you can't blame them. This is a fast sport, and it's been high intensity ever since the tip-off, as DeJulia is going to get the and one and another trip to the line. This has just been a crazy physical game so far. As it's 18-12 with 2:30 remaining in this first half, and the Lancers just haven't been able to put up points the second quarter.
Yeah, they had the momentum in the first quarter, I thought, and then it just kind of started to shift right now, and it's not looking great. I feel like court-wise they're not doing too bad, but I feel like morale, they're starting to just feel more stressed than normal.
DeJulia was able to hit the jumper from the free throw line. As that was a free throw, she just jumped, which is very unorthodox to see. As Sonetta drives with the ball, as she gives it off to Pfeiffer, who finds McKissick on the left wing. Back to Sonetta, who sets up the play. She's going to drive to her left, find Pfeiffer wide open, and Pfeiffer's able to hit on the 8-foot jump shot. White's going to dribble the ball up now as it's a 5-point game. She found Julia, who's going to drive baseline with the right hand, and she's able to get the two to go in.
Yeah, General McLean's offense, they're doing better. They're showing a little bit more signs of an improvement through these last couple minutes, but their defense has not been there. And if they can win this game, they have to have their defense. Both sides of the ball, obviously they're both extremely crucial.
McKissick took the three there from the wing, but couldn't get to go, but the ball is going to trickle out of bounds off of a Hornets player as the Lancers retain possession. We can see that this Hickory team does not have a lot of bench players, which may prove crucial down the stretch as fatigue and things play in as the game goes on. However, McKissick inbounds the ball to Steiner. McKissick's at the top of the key as she sets up the play. She finds Sonetta, who's at the top. She fakes and goes and passes to Steiner in the paint. Steiner couldn't get to go as Aiken pulls down the rebound. She passes it off to Crow, who finds White, and White's going to dribble up as she sets up the play from her coach. White passes it to Brest. Brest looks around, dribbles to her right, stops on a dime and passes it to Julia on the right wing. My apologies. But she's going to go back to the volleyball line as it goes back to White. And back to Crow, who dribbles in with her left, but can't get it to go. Brest has it with 50 seconds remaining as she dribbles back to midcourt. Brest is just going to hold the ball, I guess until there's some defensive pressure, as it'd be really surprising if they wait for the last shot. But she finds Aiken at the top as Brest is just going to hold it. Brest going to dribble to her right and gives it back to Aiken. Aikens dribbles up. Aikens has a nice shot in the paint as that was a long possession as there's only 20 seconds left as everyone has ran down the court with leaving Sonetta no one to pass to. Sonetta has to dribble up as there's only 10 seconds left in this first half. McKissick has it, and she passes it to Stein in the paint, who hands it to Sonetta, and Sonetta's going to go to the line for two with 4 seconds left. This has been a high-energy game ever since the start. I'm going to keep saying it because nothing has changed.
Yeah, that last inbound there with Sierra Sonetta, every single person except her was on the other half of the court, so that's tough. That was a little bit of miscommunication.
It paid off as Sonetta is able to hit her first shot as she waits to take her second. As it's a 23-15 game as Roche is going to check in, and maybe they're going to try to get, we'll say cherry pick, maybe they're going to try to get someone down the court as fast as they can so they can get a decent shot off with only 4 seconds left in the half. Sonetta hits her second, and we'll see how hard Hickory tries to get a shot off here. They found Aikens, and Aikens has 2 seconds as she's going to lob up a half-court shot. It misses everything as it's a 23-16 game. The Hickory Hornets are beating the Lancers. And with the break, we're going to be back for our halftime show, so stay with us.
I'm doing this.
There's no one here to sing this song. No one knows it past the 3 words. There's 10 of us. Let's go, ladies. Let's go! Sensational work, ladies. Sensational work. Everyone's sensational work. What are you guys doing? Work, ladies. He's taking a picture. What are you recording?
We're back here at General McLean High School as it's halftime with 4 minutes remaining until the start of the second half. And we made keys for the game before the game even started, but why not save it for halftime and see how well they executed? So for the Lancers, their 3 keys were Sonetta needs to have a big game for this Lancers team to win. The second key was to lock down Carly Roche as she scored 19 points last game, and she's been a free throw machine for this Hickory team as she's made 54 on the season. And the overall defense and offense for the Lancers just needs to play better, as this Lancers offense only put up 39 points their first meeting, and they usually score a total of 54 points. Sam, how do you think they've done so far?
Well, for the first key that you were talking about, when it comes to the Lancers, Sierra Sonetta having a big game. She's had a pretty good game, but I think she needs to pick up a little bit with, obviously, a couple other of the offensive players like Kendall McKissick and Hannah Pfeiffer. And they need to obviously pick up a little bit more to be able to get the Lancers to this win. And for the second key, which was lock down Carly Roche, she has been, let's say she's had a pretty good game, but the Lancers have done okay at that. But for the free throw line, she has been making a lot, and she's got fouled. I feel like she's got fouled too much. And for the third key, like Isaac said, the overall offense and defense needs to play better. There have been times where, like in the first quarter, they had great offense and great defense. And I feel like as the second quarter started to go on, their defense deteriorated and their offense was starting to get a little bit better, I could say. but they definitely need to lock down on defense, and they need to get better offense going.
I think we could say they've played an overall better game than that first showing they had earlier this season, earlier this January. Hickory, for them to win this game, the keys for them were to keep that lockdown defense intact for this game. Their second key was to keep getting that to that free throw line, and their third key was you can't give the Lancers open threes, as we've seen the Lancers hit a couple. Sam, anything to add?
This one's much easier for me to talk about when it comes to the keys for the Hickory Hornets, because I've been noticing that their defense, which was the first key, the lockdown defense, they've been doing much better than I expected. Obviously, they love to be physical. They love to go for those possible fouls and draw the line in the border between foul and no foul, and they've been doing very great at that. And when it comes to getting to the free throw line, they've been doing great at that. I feel like about a third of their points have been from free throws because the Lancers have fouled so much. And the third key would be to not give the Lancers open threes. They've been doing, you could say, okay with that. I mean, in the first quarter, there were at least, I think, 2 or 3 by the Lancers for open threes. But I think as the second quarter went on and the end of the first quarter as well, they did much, much better at, with, I said, the lockdown defense and reducing the threes.
Now, with that, we're going to be back in 50 seconds to bring you the second half of this Lancers game. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back in 50. Stay with us. We're back already here on GM Radio. It was not 50 seconds like the clock indicated, but that's all right, as the Lancers are going to have an early turnover as White tried to chase down the ball. But it's going to be over and back regardless, and Sonetta just grabbed that ball so White couldn't get an easy layup.
Yeah, that was a pretty careless pass. I wasn't sure who that was, but either it was a careless pass or it was bad communication. But either way, the Hornets now have the ball.
Crow's going to inbound this ball for the Hornets as she gives it off to Akins. And Akins got the wide open layup there. She was able to split the defense.
I wasn't completely looking there, but I'm not sure what happened. But Akins got right past, I think, 2 or 3 defenders and just went for the easy layup.
Pfeiffer has it as she passes it to Sonetta, who found Collis in the paint, and she passed it out to McKissick in that left corner. But Atkins was able to cut that ball off, pump fake, and get the layup to go in.
I'm loving this defense right now by the Hornets. They're being able to, because the Lancers love to pass, they're intercepting passes and they're getting easy, fast breaks for layups.
They're reading these Lancers passes like a book as Crow gets the steal. Sonetta tried to get the quick steal but couldn't as Brest has it at the three-point. She gives it back to White, who's at the top. White passes it off to Crow on that left wing as she dribbles to her right. Crow dribbles in but passes it back to Atkins. Atkins was able to get a shot up but couldn't get to go in as it's going to stay with the Hornets.
The Hornets seem to be a little bit more refined and more calculated in this game, and especially in this minute and 15 seconds that we played in the second half. They're seeming a little bit more calm, cool, and collected, and just calculated overall more than the Lancers are right now.
As that we have another errant pass as Roche has it, as Roche has to hurry back, so it's not a backcourt violation.
I mean, I guess the Hornets just had to shut me up there because that was probably one of the biggest errors of the half right there, just to make sure that pass. It's a pretty bad pass right there. That's all I'm going to say.
White has it at the top of the key as she sets up the play. She passes the ball to Brest, who's on the right wing. She finds Aiken on the left wing and couldn't get it to go in. And that was another deep two as her foot was over the line. But Sonetta dribbles up as it is now a double-digit lead for the Hickory Hornets. Collis has it in the paint and she's triple covered. And when you're triple covered, you can't do much with the ball like we just saw as Roche got the steal.
Lockdown defense is very frustrating for any single sport or any single team, because you just can't get much off, and that's tough for the mentality of any team, especially the Lancers.
Brest has it at the top of the key as she passes it to White on that right wing. White passes it off to Roche, who drives in. Roche is going to be able to draw the foul, as it's going to be a block, as I think Collis slid there, and that's going to be the first foul of the game. Not the game, sorry, but the half. Brest inbounds the ball to Akins. Akins dribbles to her right and finds Roche in the corner. She dribbles out of the corner and drives in. She passes it to Brest, who's in the corner now, but airballs that one as Seidel tries to pull down the rebound. The Lancers are going to get the ball here with 5:34 left in the third quarter. Seidel inbounds the ball to Sinetta. Sinetta is going to set up the play. The Lancers are down by 11 here, and they need to start scoring points as they haven't got any this half. As Seidel has it at the top of the key and is able to hit it from the wing.
Beautiful shot by Kaylee Seidel there. She loves those threes. She's probably, I think she's a freshman if I'm not wrong or anything, but she's a beautiful three-point shooter, and she's able to get those shots down instantly.
Crow drives baseline and stops on a dime, but couldn't retain. It's going to be a holding on Crow, and we could see that from up here. She's not happy about it. But now we're seeing the Lancers start to play some good defenses. They're going to get the ball back and can get this lead to a three-possession game if they get lucky. Sinetta drives up with the ball here. She's going to set up another play. And Seidel, she might be the key for the rest of this game because if she can stroke the threes like she just did, the Lancers are going to be back in this game in no time. But Sinetta has it at the top of the key once again and drives with her left. As she can't get the nice drive to go in, as she tried to get a left-handed layup in, but it just didn't work.
Well, I think right there, Sierra Sinetta saw one small crack in the Hornets defense right there, and she just drove right down the middle but could not get that layup in.
White's going to bring the ball up for this Hornets team as she slowly takes her time up the court. She goes to her right and finds Crow on the right wing, who found Akins right at the three-point line as she pump faked Sinetta off a couple of times and gave it back to Crow, who found Brest at the top of the key and now back to White on the left wing. She gave it back to Brest on the top as McKissick read that pass and deflected it out of bounds. As we just heard, some of the Lancers fans, just one individually said something there. I'm not sure exactly who he was referring to.
I think it was get off the court. I think one of the Lancers fans were talking to the Hornets coach right there because he loves to be extremely close to inbounds when he's coaching this team.
If you don't know, there's a coaching box, and he is well out of that box, but the officials don't seem to mind, and that's all that matters. As White has it at the top, right at that midcourt, as she goes to her right, and it's going to be a charge right there as Lamoureux is able to get the charge call for her this time. And we're going to see now as this game slowed down progressively, as we've had that high energy first half, and it's really taken a step back since the start of this third quarter. Lamoureux has it on the left wing. She pump fakes one wing, gives it to Sinetta, who finds Seidel on the right wing, and Seidel can't hit it as McKissick pulls down the rebound. She goes to the left corner. She's double-teamed. She couldn't find anyone to pass to, but Lamoureux was able to get it back as Collis is under the basket, and Collis can't get it to go as someone tipped it, and Brest pulled it down and gave it to Roche. Roche is on a 1-on-5 as she waits for her teammates to catch up with her. White has it at the top as she gives it to number 21, Crow, on the left wing. Crow found White at the top of the key, who found Akins right at the right wing, and she passes it into Brest, and Brest couldn't get the right-handed layup to go, and that was really a surprise. As White has it at the top of the key, the Hornets were able to retain possession as Crow tried to take a three, but it was blocked by McKissick. Sinetta's on the left wing as she takes a shot and can't get it to go in. And then Collis passes it off the back side of the backboard there as we've really seen kind of a mental lapse this third quarter. We haven't seen a lot of that, but we're finally seeing some mental mistakes here as the game's gone on.
These shots are tough for General McLean, especially these three-pointers. They love to base their offense, not really base it around, but when they have a small chance, even like an extremely small chance to get one of these threes, they take it, even if it is contested. And that could hurt them because they are taking those very low percentage shots, even though they could possibly pass it to get a nice layup in.
As Akins passed it to Brest, who is on that right wing, and she drains the three. As Sinetta is dribbling up now, as this Lancers team, every time it seems like as if they're going to make a comeback, this Hickory team hits a dagger 3 to put them up double digits. Collis drives baseline and is able to get the 2 to go, and it's now a 9-point game with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. White passes it to Brest, who found Akins, who found Roche in the paint. Roche couldn't get the layup to go in, but she gets the rebound, and it's going to be waved off there. As, let's see, I think the Lancers are going to pick up another foul here.
Yeah, one of the keys to the game for the Hornets was to make sure you're drawing these fouls, and they're doing incredible at that right now.
They've done so all game as they've gone to the line, not as much as they were, but a lot. But they're still doing an incredible job of it, as it's not the easiest thing to get to the line 28 times in a 32-minute game. Roche drives baseline and can't get the layup to go, and as McKissick pulls down the rebound. McKissick drives baseline, tries to pass, but couldn't get the ball through, as Steiner is going to foul Akins with 1:46 remaining in the third quarter. This has been a really odd game now, as I've mentioned earlier that the first game was not the first game, sorry, but the first half was very high intensity, and it's still high intensity, but it's taken a large step back.
Yeah, it's high intensity, and it's the first half was high intensity, and both teams I think were keeping more of a rhythm and being more, I don't know, like more of a pace to their game, and now Hickory I feel like is losing that a little bit, but General McLean's losing that a pretty good amount, and they're just trying to get whatever they can get.
Brest is on the right wing as she dribbles to her left and tries to find the opening, as Sonetta almost stole that away from her. But Roche is in the right corner and passes it back out to Brest. Brest sets up the play and passes it to Crow at the top of the key, who finds DeJulie in the paint, and DeJulie is able to get the shot in the paint to go in, as she hasn't missed a shot yet this game. Pfeiffer has it as she passes it to Steiner, who is in the paint, and Steiner gets the short jumper to go in. We've seen a couple easy shots for both teams, and I don't expect to see those for very long. Crow has it as she passes it off to Akins. And Akins, I have to say, loves those pump fakes as she's gotten Sonetta off her back with those pump fakes up to this point. Roche is going to hold the ball. She awaits a call from her coach, as she really has no pressure. Roche drives and is able to get the layup to go in, as that was an obvious mismatch as Steiner was guarding her, and Roche is just too fast for Steiner. Pfeiffer has it as she had a nifty move there. She was able to sway the ball and get the layup to go in.
Great move by Hannah Pfeiffer, like Isaac just said. It was just great for her to be able to be at the right wing and just be able to do a little bit of a crossover, you could call it, and just get that easy layup.
Hickory's going to take a timeout with 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And with that timeout, we're going to take a timeout here on GM Radio. Stay with us. There's 7 seconds remaining in this half as DeJulia has it for Hickory. As there's 4 seconds. Crow's going to drive to her right, fakes it, passes it to Roche, and Roche can't get a final shot off, as that was not good time management. But with that, this Hickory is winning 34-25 over General McLean. Stay with us as we enter the fourth quarter. We're back here at General McLean High School as the Hickory Hornets are going to start off with the ball, as they're leading the Lancers by 9 at the start of the fourth quarter. Akins has it as she passes to DeJulia. DeJulia passes it back to Akins, who sits on that right wing. She finds Crow at the top as Crow's been pretty silent this game and hasn't necessarily impacted this team positively up to this point. But she was able to get the ball to Brest for the 2 points. Crow hasn't played necessarily too bad, but she just hasn't been on the scoreboard, I meant to say. As McKissick is in the corner and passes it to Collis, but it went right under Collis' legs as Sonetta has it. Sonetta looks around. as the Hickory coach is shouting for his team to get their hands up as he doesn't want any shots to get off. As Sonetta takes the three and can't get it to go as Roche pulls down the rebound. Roche drives up with the ball as there's nobody on her. She stops at the free throw line and passes to DeJulia. She finds Crow on the left side. Now DeJulia is setting up the play at the top of the wing. She passes it into Brest, who's in the paint. DeJulia gets the ball back at the top of the wing, and Akins gets it as she pump fakes again and looks for someone to pass. She's going to drive, but is shortly stopped as Roche gets it back. Crow has it on the left wing. Crow drives as DeJulia has it on the left wing and passes it back to Roche, who's at the free throw line. She looks for something to do and passes it back out to Aiken. Aiken is looking for someone to pass to but can't, and as she hands it off to DeJulia. Crow has it and passes it off to Brest. And Brest got fouled as she's going to go to the line for two. That was a great possession by the Hornets as the Lancers weren't pressuring, and that allowed the Hornets to pass wherever they pleased.
Yeah, it was a great possession, and especially these fouls. They're adding up for the Lancers right now, and they currently have 4 fouls in this half. So that's going to be a big thing when it comes to winning this game, and we will be right back with you as a timeout was called. Stay with us.
We're back as Brest is going to go to the line for two as she was fouled just before that timeout was called by the Lancers. Brest can't get her first one to go as it's an 11-point game 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. And if the Lancers are going to want to make a comeback, I think they're going to have to start scoring quickly and start getting defensive stops quickly. Brest knocks down her second one as she makes it a 12-point game. Sonetta dribbles up the court. Sonetta sets up the play. She finds McKissick in the right corner. And McKissick couldn't get that one to go as that was really the first open three-pointer we've seen in the half. Crow dribbles with her left and stops right at the arc. Akins has it at the top of the key, and she finds White. Jessica White drives in baseline and passes it right off Collis' knee, and it trickles out of bounds. As the ref threw it there and hit off the black thing that holds up the rim. That's an interesting sight that we don't usually see very often.
Now the official that just gave Hickory the ball right there is just trying to contain his laughter because that was a pretty funny thing. Normally that doesn't happen in games.
Brest was able to get the easy two there as it was a nice feed. Seidel has it for the Lancers, and she passes it to Sonetta, and Collis is in the paint. And Collis throws up a shot, can't get it to go, but the ball's going to stay with the Lancers as they get another opportunity. Sonetta sets up to inbound the ball as this has really been a rough go of it for the Lancers ever since the second half started.
And here we go again with Coach Hansen being visibly angry. I'm not sure if one of the officials didn't call a foul that she thought was going to be one, but she does not look very happy right now.
Roche fed another one to Brest, and Brest was able to get it to go in the paint as it looks like this Hornets team is really changing up their strategy as it's seeming as if they want to feed the ball to Brest in the post as much as they can as Collis gets fouled as she goes up for the shot. It's 41-25 now, and we can definitely say that the Lancers have lost some of that juice that they had earlier as they scored a total of 16 points in the first half and have only gained 9 here. While Hickory's actually gotten more points than they had the whole entire first half. Steiner's going to come back in for defensive purposes, and hopefully she can pull down this rebound for the Lancers because they're going to need as many offensive possessions as they can get. Collis shoots it and is able to get the second one to go in as it is now a 41-26 game with 5 minutes remaining. Roche dribbles up with the ball. Roche stops at the right wing and passes it to White. White finds Atkins on the left wing. Atkins passes it off to Roche, who's at the top of the key. Atkins sets up the play as she did a pump fake by her waist, but passes it to Crow, and she gets the ball back. She dribbles to her left, and is going to take the floater, and is able to bank it in.
You got to think with 4.5 minutes left, and the score is 43-26 Hornets. urgency's big here when it comes to the General McLean defense, and they're not really showing that a whole lot.
You would think the Lancers would pressure a lot more in this, and you would think the offense would be kind of playing a hustle sort of a game as they're just trying to get points here. But Sonetta dribbles back as she finds Steiner right at the free throw line. Snyder drives to her right, but the ball almost got stolen by Crow, but Steiner was able to finish the right-handed layup.
I think having Steiner in this game right now especially is going to be big because she's able to get those nice rebounds and especially get those layups, because she's taller than I think every single other person on this court right now.
It adds an element to this Lancers team as they don't really have a really tall player, but with Steiner in the game, as she stands 6'2", 6'3", I'd say, it gives them a tall element. As Jessica White has it for the Hornets, as Seidel tries to get the steal. As it looks like the Hornets are almost playing a stalling sort of ball, as number 21, Crow, hits it from deep for the Hickory Hornets. Sonetta goes to her left against White, and White fouled her here. That must be a reaching call.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's an 18-point game. This is going to be a really tough thing for Jenna McLean to come back from with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left in the whole entire game. So we'll see if they can snap out of the whatever they're in right now and just try to get that sense of urgency back.
If the Lancers don't make a quick push here, I don't think we're going to see fouling at the end of the game. As you said, it's an 18-point game, and almost all hope was lost after that dagger three-pointer that made it an 18-point game. But we're gonna have a timeout here, and with that timeout, we're gonna take a break from this game. But don't go anywhere, as you're gonna want to finish up this 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Stay with us. We're back here at General McLean High School as the Hornets are beating the Lancers by a score of 46-28, as Seidel is going to start off with the ball on the right wing. She passes it to Sonetta, who takes the three and can't get it to go as she tries to get the steal from Brest. But it's going to be a jump ball, and the ball's going to stay with the Lancers there as that gives them a little more hope with under 3 minutes left to play.
Yeah, Sonetta was really, really calling for that three that she shot, but she missed, and it looked like she was just pretty mad, and she wanted that ball back, and she couldn't get it. But with that jump ball and possession went to the Lancers, that's good for them.
Steiner was able to get the short jump shot to go in, and it looks like we got another timeout, and with that timeout, we will take a break here on GM Radio. We're back here on GM Radio as this game is almost coming to a close as the Hornets are beating the Lancers by a score of 16 points, and we'll see what the Lancers' defensive strategy here is as we're almost done with this game, as White's going to start off with the ball. Yeah. It looks as if the Lancers are going to play a full pressure as Sonetta is able to get a steal. She drives, but Crow got right in her way, and that was great defense to stop that fast break. Sonetta passes it off to McKissick, who drives baseline, but it's going to be another foul on Brest and this Hornets team.
I feel like these are fouls that for the Hornets they don't really need to take. I feel they're up 16 points, and there's no need to take these fouls because that's just going to give the Lancers a bit more of an advantage, and they need that. They need as much as they can get here with 2.5 minutes left.
Lamro takes a three-pointer but couldn't get it to go as Jessica White drives up with the ball. She passes it to Hannah Crow, who found White in the paint, and White gets the layup to go.
I don't know what the Lancers defense was doing right there. They were, half of them, actually pretty much all of them were on the right side of the court, and there were two Hornets that were wide open.
Crow got the steal, went on the fast break as she almost got the and one to go in, as Pfeiffer just had a mental lapse there. She didn't go for the ball whatsoever and let Crow run right past her, and she's going to go to the line for two. As we see now, Pfeiffer had her hands on her head, and she didn't know what she was doing at that moment either. She just kind of got caught up in the moment. Hannah Crow hits her first one, and with that shot, it's almost, and if she hits the second one, it's going to be a 50-30 game, a 20-point lead, and with that, I don't think there's going to be much more.
Yeah, you can start to notice this game slipping away from the Lancers now.
She couldn't get that one to go, but it's pretty silent in this room, and I think everyone knows the outcome of this game. Sonetta airballs that one as she tried to pass to Seidel, but just couldn't find her. As we have under 2 minutes to play, as Claire Campbell comes back to the game, as it's been a while for the starter.
It's things like these passes, these somewhat careless passes or miscommunications that cost teams games. Obviously, this time it didn't for the Lancers, but those little things, especially with less than 2 minutes left, that's going to hurt the Lancers like crazy.
It is Aikens it's going to be an over and back call, as we saw Campbell there, who hasn't played very much this game, really was on every defender there. She's trying to contribute as best she can, and she's going to come right back out. Steiner's in the game, and she passes it to Lamoureux, as it looks like they're getting some of the youngsters some playing time here with little time remaining. As Lamoureux has it and passes it to the corner for Seidel. Seidel can't get the three to go, as Aikens pulls down the rebound. Brest has it, and the ball goes back to Aikens, which goes back to Brest, and up to White, and then back to Aiken. As Aiken just wants to hold the ball, but the Lancers aren't going to let her do that, as it's going to be a travel. And Aikens was not happy there with her teammates, as she knew she was in trouble. And I have to give it up for the Lancers, as I think they know this game is well over, but they're not going to quit fighting.
Yeah, it's nice to see that in any team. Even though they are down a pretty substantial amount of points, it's nice to see them keep fighting.
I wouldn't even say they played necessarily bad tonight. It's just Hickory played so well, and it's just Hickory doesn't seem to have almost like a deficiency on their team, as just every part of their game is solid.
I'll talk about this later, but GM is having trouble with these wide open threes. Normally they're drilling them left and right, and right now they've missed a couple wide open threes that they probably shouldn't have missed. And with that, there has been a timeout, and with 57.8 seconds to go, we will take a break. Stay with us.
Finish up here. All right, that's the end of the game, as the Lancers couldn't win this one, but we'll be back Friday as the boys take on Fort Leboeuf, and that'll surely be a good one. For Sam and I, we'll see you guys Friday here on GM Radio. Have a good night.